Are you looking to break into some liquid fertilizer this year or wondering what the difference between liquid and granular fertilizer is? Well, you found the right video. Welcome to the Great Green North. My name is Wade Murray. I'm a lawn care enthusiast and I've worked in the industry, and today we're going to be talking about the difference between liquid and granular fertilizer and which one's better for you. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. For those of you new here, make sure you subscribe. We release new lawn care videos every week, as well as a podcast every month where we help Canadian homeowners and homeowners all around the world get the best lawn on the block. So if that sounds great to you, hit subscribe, hit that like button down below, and share the video with your friends and family so we can help grow this channel. Alright, so before we talk about the difference between liquid and granular, let's just talk about what fertilizer is. Now there's those three major numbers on the bag, N, P, and K, and those are your major nutrients. Those are the nutrients that your lawn needs to grow and thrive. And there's different ways of delivering those nutrients into your lawn. Now, liquid fertilizer is fertilizer that comes concentrated in a jug. So you can either buy it from concentrate or you can buy it pre-mixed. This fertilizer is sprayed onto the grass, onto the leaf surface using a backpack sprayer in a liquid form. Granular fertilizer is what most homeowners would see. It's what Scott sells. It is purchased in a bag and it comes in what is called prill. So those little tiny balls. It's put in a spreader and it's spread across the soil surface of the lawn. Eventually that prill is broken down due to rain and is taken into the soil, and therefore intaken into the plant, spreading that nutrients into the plant. So there are two different ways of delivering those major nutrients into the lawn. They're both they both work, but they both have their pros and cons. So without further ado, let's talk about which one is better with which. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about liquid fertilizer. So for those of you in Canada looking for liquid fertilizers, Growforge is a company I've been working for a while. They make liquid fertilizer projects. I'll be working with them again this year and have a promo code for you guys soon. I tried their products last year. I'm actually doing an entire section of my lawn only liquid this year. Liquid is for smaller in doses of nitrogen or nutrients into the lawn. A lot of times you won't see liquid fertilizers with 30 or 40% nitrogen in them. That's just not something that you see very often. So they're more for smaller, more precise applications into the lawn. And they're also, because they are sprayed on the lawn, as I mentioned before, they are sprayed directly to the leaf surface. So they're made to be sprayed almost at dusk because that gives them the longest time to sit on the leaf surface without being evaporated by the sun, but allowing that time to intake through the leaf surface. And spraying at dusk allows that nitrogen to be intaken directly into the plant instead of granular, where it goes through the soil. So because it gets directly into the plant, you see results quicker from liquid fertilizer. However, the results don't last as long as some sort of the slow release granular fertilizers, for example. So you do see quicker results. They're for smaller, more precise applications, quicker results. But sometimes the results won't last as long depending on what liquid fertilizer you're using. So what liquids are really good for is like a spoon feeding program. So a program where you're applying that liquid fertilizer, once every week or once every other week, and you're applying them at decent rates or lower rates, but you still get, in the end, you get that full pound of nitrogen in, except you're applying it once every week or once every other week instead of just 2 apps that you would do with granular. So without further ado, let's talk about granular. So granular, obviously, the opposite is liquid. It's made for more larger, broad applications, and they're made at heavier rates. So a lot of granular fertilizers, you'll see 30, 40% nitrogen in those applications. You're putting that down all at once. And because they are granular, they're a lot easier to apply on a large area. So for example, a sports field that might be a couple acres, applying a granular fertilizer can be done in a matter of minutes, where applying a liquid fertilizer would have to be done in a matter of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, couple of hours maybe, depending on how you're applying it. So granular is really good for those large areas because of the ease of application, and it's really good for a broad application as well. So for example, you're just trying to get your baseline in of half a pound of nitrogen in the fall. Granular is a great fertilizer to use for that. You're going to easily get that in. You're going to spread it over that broad area, and you're going to have no problem doing that. However, because granular is not applied to the leaf surface, it's applied to the soil, and then it's broken down in the soil. It is taken into the plant through a process, and as it's taken into that plant, that takes a little longer because you're not actually applying the fertilizer directly to the plant. you're applying the fertilizer to the soil, and then the soil is taking that nutrients out of the soil into the plant when it needs it. So when it's low on nitrogen, it's going to look for that soil and then it's going to pull it into the plant. So because of that, the results you're going to see from applying a granular fertilizer is going to take a little longer. It's going to take more than a few days, up to a week, before you'll see full results from applying a granular fertilizer. When with liquid fertilizer, sometimes you can see results the next day. But as I said, you can get a lot more slow release nitrogen with the granulars. A lot of ureas you see in granular fertilizers, if you look at the what type of nitrogen's in it, and urea is very good for slow release over a couple months. So for example, if you were doing a granular program and you were trying to put down 2 pounds of nitrogen or a pound of nitrogen in the fall, you would probably do that in 2 apps, where if you're doing a liquid program, you do that in 4 or 5. So that's the main difference between granular and liquid and how they pan out. So let's talk about kind of pros and cons of each, why you would choose one over another. So what I really like granular fertilizers for is fall, but when you're trying to push a lot of growth and a lot of nutrients at once. Granular fertilizers are very good for that, pushing a lot of growth at the once. However, liquid fertilizers kind of get this stigma that they're more for micronutrients, but you can use liquid fertilizers for pushing a lot of growth at once. And this year I'm going to be doing my front lawn entirely liquid, and we're going to be testing that liquid versus granular, pushing all that growth at the same time. So But I really like liquid fertilizers for, and what I really saw in my lawn this year when it came to liquid fertilizers was, when you get into that summer and your lawn is stressed and you're trying not to push a ton of growth, applying a granular fertilizer is really hard to not overstress the lawn. And that's where a lot of people say you can't fertilize in the summer because you can get burning. You're not necessarily going to get burning, but it's just too much energy you're trying to force into the lawn at a time where it just can't expel the energy because it's struggling. So I like liquid fertilizers a lot in the summer, because you can give those doses of those nitros, or give those small doses of micros, or a small dose of nitrogen, and that can really help get your lawn going just enough so that when you're irrigating, your lawn's still growing, it still looks healthy, and it doesn't get that missing energy, missing fertilizer kind of sad, droopy look to it when a lawn is really missing nutrients and it starts to lose that color. So I do really like liquid fertilizers for applying in the summer. I think it's a really good idea. Applying in the spring too, liquid fertilizers is another great thing, because you don't want to push a lot of growth in the spring because of how much growth you already have. And the more growth you're pushing in the spring, that normally leads to the more growth you're going to see in shoot instead of root, where you're pushing a lot of growth in the fall with root. So to conclude all this, which one will be best for you? If you are a beginner, you are just trying to get into the lawn care market, you have no idea, you've never touched a fertilizer spreader before, granular is probably going to be your best choice for that first application, for that first 6 months, for that first year. I'm not saying that liquid is hard by any means. My point being is that you're going to need to push a lot of nutrients, and granular, and because you're not, you haven't been into the lawn, you haven't been doing a lot in the lawn, granular is the best option for you. Now, if you're getting into your lawn a little more, and you're in that second year and you really want to take your lawn to the next level, and you want to have it green all year, and you want to have a really nice lawn, that's when that liquid's going to become a lot better of an option for you. If you are someone who irrigates all summer and you're struggling with your irrigation, you're struggling with this lawn that just looks like it doesn't want to grow anymore, liquid is definitely a great option for you. What I would definitely recommend though is as I said in my podcast this week, and as I've said all the time, every lawn is different, and I cannot specifically direct to a specific condition without seeing it. But if you are someone who struggles with their fertilizer, struggles keeping up on top of their applications, struggles with a lawn that's always looking at it just won't hold nutrients, liquid would definitely be best for you. I find with sandier soils, liquid is a little better. With those soils that tend to hold nutrients a lot better, granular is a lot easier of an application for you as well. So that would be my recommendation when we're talking about liquid versus granular. I have had amazing experiences with liquid, and as far as I'm concerned, granular fertilizer is great for everybody. It gets you that first, 40–50%, and it can get your lawn looking good. But if you really want to take your lawn that next step, that next level, you're trying to get, to your lawn from that standard residential lawn to that amazing lawn that everybody looks at on the block, that's when your liquid's definitely going to come in. And I really do recommend giving a look at liquid this year. If liquid is something that scares you, start with that liquid fertilizer. Start with something like a humic, or just fill up your sprayer empty and try to do a couple applications just with water and see how that goes. It's really not that hard. I broke into liquid last year and I really loved it. So I cannot recommend trying liquid fertilizer any more than I can after last year. As always, I'm still in my partnership with Growforge. If you're looking at trying liquid fertilizer this year, make sure you check out the promo code on the screen or down below. It will get you 5% off everything at Growforge's site. From the Great Green North, my name is Wade Murray. I hope this video helped you. If you have an opinion on liquid or granular, leave that in the comments down below. And if you have any other lawn questions, you can submit them on my website, greatgreennorthlawncare.ca. You can email them to me, greatgreennorthlawncare@gmail.com, or as always, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. From the Great Green North, my name is Wade Murray. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep it good.